Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to week number 7 of our VGC Draft League. And in this video, we are going to be playing or building our team for Papatommy, coach of Calyrex-Icecreams, which is an awesome name. Um, but before we start, I wanted to address a few things. The past 2 weeks I've had like the most busy 2 weeks of my life, so I've been really slacking on uploads and stuff like that and editing. But that's over now. I am now into summer. I will have more free time, and I'll be able to get those daily uploads going again, hopefully. Um, but yeah, so I've had a pretty big break of trying to get stuff done, but we should be good to go now. Uploads should be coming back up normally, and hopefully you guys didn't mind the break too much. So when we talk about Papatommy, or let me address the standings first. After an unfortunate loss last week, spoilers if you haven't seen it. Um, After we unfortunately lost, we are now tied for first place. We're in a three-way tie. One of the people we're tied with is Splatty, who we played a while ago. Um, and then Tarkington, which I have not played yet, but he has a Kyogre team. So we should be playing him soon. But since we're at a three-way tie right now, we have to do really good. We have to win 2-0 victories if we want to really pull ahead. So that's what I'm going to be going for. Thankfully, this week our matchup is actually really good. So let's get right into it. His first restricted pick is Calyrex Ice. Ice Psychic type, one of the new Pokemon from the DLC. Has the ability both Unnerve and Chilling Neigh. Now, Calyrex Ice has an absolutely insane physical attack. Really hard hitter, really high defense, decent special defense, but he's really slow. Okay, so he's a really powerful Pokemon, but really slow. So he works very well with Trick Room. Now, Calyrex is scary because he can set up his own Trick Room. Um, if he's paired with a good Pokemon, he can almost always get Trick Room up and then sweep from the back. So Calyrex Ice specifically can be very scary against our team. Um, he gets a lot of really good coverage. Things like double edge close combat. Um, he gets Glacial Lance, which is 130 base power ice type move, which hits both opponents. Absolutely terrifying. Zen Headbutt, he can set up his own Trick Room. Like I said, he gets Ally Switch. Definitely a huge threat. But Yveltal does have a positive matchup against him and can one-shot him unless he Dynamaxes. So that's really good. His secondary pick is Indeedee Female. Indeedee Female is one of the best Pokemon in the VGC meta. Get with Psychic Surge and Follow Me support. It can be really bulky. Can hit really hard with Expanding Force if you want to run offensive. But the Follow Me is mainly what's scary about it. When it sets up Psychic Surge, Psychic Terrain, it nullifies all priority moves. Um, so Whimsicott's priority moves don't really work. It's actually kind of complicated how the priority moves work in Psychic Surge. Basically, priority moves that are only affecting your opponent aren't going to work. So for Whimsicott, things like Encore and Fake Tears and Taunt wouldn't work because I'm using it on my opponent. But Tailwind still works because I'm using it for myself, if that makes any sense. And yeah, terrains are just they're very weird. And they only work on Pokemon that are actually touching the ground. So terrain's really weird. I say that, but I also have a terrain setter on my team in Tampakoko, so I can't complain too much. And his next Pokemon is Volcarona. Volcarona is one of the best bug types in my opinion. Fire bug. Gets Flame Body and Swarm. Has really good high special attack. It's actually pretty fast, even though it doesn't look like it. And very specially bulky. Has things like Quiver Dance where it can set up its best dance and special attack, special defense, and speed. I think it gets like Teeter Dance if it wants to confuse like. Oh no, it doesn't get Teeter Dance. Okay, never mind. Can set up Calm Minds, do like Fiery Dances, which is a pretty strong fire type move, and has a chance to raise your own special attack. Can be pretty scary, but not too concerned about Volcarona because Yveltal is really powerful against it. And there's Tarakion. Tarakion is one of the three swords from Black and White, and Tarakion is very scary. Has really high speed and really high attack stat. So pretty bulky. Um, Runs justified, so you can run beat up strats with it, and it's really annoying to deal with and can be really powerful and a sweeper if you let it set up on you with like a sword stance or anything like that. It gets stab rock slide, which is terrifying. Um, Tarakion just very powerful against our team. And then another rock type he has is Ryperior. Ryperior is extremely bulky on the defensive side, has a pretty good attack stat. Gets abilities like Solid Rock, which makes it even more bulky. Can run Lightning Rod if it doesn't want to, if it wants to suck away all the electric type moves. Could be problematic for us. Um, and Ryperior is just a really good bulky switch in, really good in Trick Room, which I expect him to utilize in our match. And then he has Bisharp. Bisharp is a pretty average Pokemon, Dark and Steel type. Gets pretty good moves with Sucker Punch and Knock Off, and I think it gets yeah, it does get Knock Off. Knock Off, Poison Jab, Power Up Punch if it wants to start sweeping. Um, Nothing too crazy, but just kind of a good general Pokemon to have. You can run support with Focus Sash. Has a really high attack stat, but it has decent speed. Um, but you can beat up your own Tarakion or something like that to boost it up. And then he has Alakazam. Alakazam really fast, strong special attacker. I honestly don't really see Alakazam doing much for him, um, unless he just wants to be a fast special sweeper. So I just don't really see that being that good. Can set up Reflect and Light Screens and stuff like that, but not too concerned overall about that. And Thunder Wave, just annoying stuff if he wanted to do that. And then he has Stoutland. Stoutland is normal type, good Intimidate user. Gets Sand Rush and Scrappy for any utility he might need. Has really good coverage. Let me see if there's anything else that Stoutland can do. Has really good coverage, things like Surf and Ice Fang Ironhead, Play Rough, Superpower. Has a pretty good special move pool, but is a pretty terrible special attacker himself. He gets Yawn. Um, nothing too nothing too much to be afraid of. It's just pretty good Intimidate user, honestly. Can switch in, be pretty bulky, and take hits. Then he has Vaporeon, really, really bulky water type. It's water absorb, so he can suck up all our water type moves. Um, it gets things like Life Dew, which could be annoying. Oh, it doesn't get Life Dew. Never mind. So yeah, I don't really know what Vaporeon does for his team. I actually thought about drafting Vaporeon, just for the water type on my team, but I ended up picking Swampert. So yeah, he gets like Wish and Yawn, Protect, and like I don't know, just annoying stuff like that. I don't really expect to see Vaporeon. Paparaja is this next one. Really strong defensive Steel type. Um, can run heavy metal, so it's what's it called? Heavy Slam is stronger. Um, Yeah, extremely hard hitting physical attacker. It's actually not as bulky as I thought it was. It just has a lot of HP. Okay, yeah, so it's actually lacking in defense and special defense, but has a lot of HP. And a high attack stat. So not as threatening as I thought it was, honestly. Um, but Dynamax Caparaja could definitely be a force to be reckoned with. Very slow, but could be good in Trick Room. Um, let's see. Dragopalt. Dragapult was one of the most popular Pokemon in the early meta. It's Clear Body, Infiltrator, and Curse Body. Can be physical or special. Is really fast, which is what makes it really good. One of the fastest Pokemon. Gets a really good move pool on the special side and can hit really hard on the physical side. Also gets beat up if he wants to beat up Tarakion. Could be scary. Um, Definitely something we're gonna have to look out for. And then he has Gourgeist Super. Gourgeist Super is the big Gourgeist, and I believe it has stronger attack stat and stronger defenses, but is slower. So, Ghost Grass, not too concerned about it. Your Beltop pretty much counters it perfectly. So, when I look at his team, there's a couple things I don't see. He doesn't really have a Tailwind setter, or a good one at least. I don't think he has one at all, unless Volcarona gets Tailwind. I don't think it does, Volcarona. Volcarona Tailwind? Volcarona does get Tailwind. So Volcarona could potentially set up Tailwind for him, but he doesn't really have a good Tailwind setter. Um, and he doesn't have a good Fake Out user. Indeed, he gets Fake Out, but it kind of counteracts. It doesn't work in Psychic Terrain. I guess it could, maybe it could work on my Yveltal since it's flying, but I'm not sure if terrains take into account if the user is grounded or if the person receiving the attack is grounded. I'll have to look into that in a second. So that might change up my strategies if that's the case. But indeed, he does get Fake Out. I believe that's his only Fake Out user. He doesn't have Tailwind Fake Out. His Trick Room team is really good, in my opinion. He definitely seems like one of the few Trick Room teams in our draft league. He can set up Trick Rooms with Calyrex. He can set up Trick Rooms with Alakazam if he wanted to. He could even set up Trick Room. Is that it? Is that all he gets? I think that's it. Those are two things he can set up Trick Room with, but really that's all he needs. He can click Follow Me with Indeedee and then set up Trick Room with Calyrex, and there's not really much I can do about it if that's the case. So I expect to be playing around Trick Room turns in this match, which I will be doing in like an hour. I didn't realize how close we were. So yeah. Um, so my biggest concern going into this was the Trick Room team. So with that in mind, I decided to make my team. Obviously, we have our boy Yveltal. Fun fact, Yveltal, with these three moves, Dark Pulse, Oblivion Wing, and Focus Blast, can hit everything on his team super effectively. And with Yveltal on the field, that means he can one-shot everything. Um, except for Dynamax Yveltal versus Dynamax Calyrex. Dark Pulse does about 90%, or Max Darkness. And then Max Airstream into Dynamax Tarakion does about 50%. So we can't really kill Calyrex and Tarakion, his two, in one shot if they Dynamax, which is kind of sad because those are his two Dynamax candidates. But I think we should be able to play it well because neither of them can one-shot us in return. So it works out in the end. And then, yeah, we're running max special attack. We're having to run max speed just in case we can't get the tailwind up. I'm going to have to play around that Indeedee Follow Me turn 1 and the Indeedee potentially having a Sash. So it's not guaranteed that we're going to get tailwind up. So I decided I wanted to run max speed. Now we have Whimsicott. Whimsicott's got Dazzling Gleam to break Sashes, which is going to be very important in this match. Trick Room, Encore, and Tailwind. Encore is if we can Encore the Calyrex or somebody else into clicking Trick Room. Turn 2 or something like that. Trick Room is if they get the Trick Room up and we need to reverse it, which we saw in like week 5. I used that strat against like Nanomeister or something. And the Tailwind is for the Tailwind if we ever need to get it up, which hopefully we will be able to. Let's see. Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko is making his return. We're running Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam doesn't really do much. It hits Tarakion super effectively and Bisharp, but it's just like, it doesn't really do much. Thunderbolt doesn't do very much either. Tapu Koko is not really going to be a very kill-orientated fighter here. Mostly going to be used just to stall turns, maybe get a Reflect if he can, and just maybe clean up kills in the end. His main goal is to just set up electric terrain to cover up the Indeedee's psychic terrain if we ever need that. And then we have Raichu. Raichu this time running. Tapu Koko has Sugar Berry. Raichu running Air Balloon. We're going max special attack, max HP, and we're running Fake Out, Rising Voltage, Psychic, and Focus Blast. I feel like Raichu can be a really good Fake Out user here, or can, just clean up at the end of the game. And then we have Cinderace. Cinderace really been really good for our team. Max attack, max speed, plus speed nature, so we can outspeed Tarakion at all times. And then we have Protect, Powerball, Sucker Punch, and High Jump Kick, which hits almost all of his team super effectively, I believe. Or it should. Except for Volcarona, I believe. I think he can hit everything else super effectively with this. And then we're bringing Krookodile. Krookodile mostly going to be using for Intimidate. Cinderace running the Expert Belt like normal. Krookodile running Assault Vest. We're running more bulky, max XP, max defense, a little bit special defense. And we're running Rock Slide, High Horsepower, Foul Play. and Darkest Lariat. Foul Play is mostly so we can do like 90% damage to the Calyrex if we need to. And with Krookodil's speed, he's actually going to be pretty slow here, I think. Um, Let me look at Krookodile. Krookodil's min speed is 92, so, I mean, not super slow, but pretty slow. And that's the team we're bringing. Now, if I were to make a prediction on what team he was going to bring, I would say he's going to bring a Trick Room team. So, Calyrex-Ice plus Indeedee, Ryperior, Caparaja, Tarakion, and Volcarona. I expect him to always bring Tarakion, always bring Calyrex. And if he weren't bringing Trick Room, I would expect Calyrex, Indeedee, Tarakion, Bisharp, Statland, Ryperior. Dragopalt probably goes in here instead of Ryperior. But yeah, that's about what I'm expecting. I think we can win this pretty easily as long as we get that first turn right. As you can tell in this league, the first turn has been so important for us. It's either we either hit the first turn right and we win the whole thing, or we hit it wrong and we lose. And it's worked out pretty well for us. The Yveltal Whimsicott pressure has been really good, and I expect it to be great in this match. So wish me luck, and we'll be battling here in a few minutes. You guys will probably see the battle a day after this. So I look forward to you guys seeing that. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.